Greetings to you. I'm Dr. Ines and this is drama for the third year. Our lesson for today is on aside, a definition and an example.
Aside. Aside.
What is aside? Aside, part of a speech, is noun. A term used in drama and refers to a remark, a few words, or a short speech spoken in a low tone by one character to the audience or to another character, while the other actors on stage pretend their characters cannot hear the speaker's words. It is a theatrical convention that the aside is not audible to other characters on stage. The aside is usually indicated by stage directions. What is the purpose of using aside in drama? Asides are useful for giving the audience special information about the other characters on stage or special information about the action of the plot. Let's read an example on aside from Shakespeare's Julius Caesar in Act 3, Scene 1. Please read. Antony. That's all I seek, and am moreover suitor than I may produce his body to the market-place, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral. Brutus. You shall, Mark Antony. Cassius. Brutus, a word with you. Aside to Brutus. Here starts the aside. He said, Cassius, in a low tone to Brutus, You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter? I'll repeat. Cassius asks Brutus to have a word with him. Cassius, Brutus, a word with you. Aside to Brutus. Why these words are highlighted in yellow? These words, aside to Brutus, are the stage direction by the dramatist William Shakespeare. How do we know that the following speech is an aside? We know it from the stage direction. This is a stage direction, aside to Brutus. This is written in the text. Open your books and see. What did he say in the aside? What did Cassius say in the aside? He said, You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter? The aside continues. Brutus says, By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest. He speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rites and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong. Cassius. I know not what may fall. I like it not. The aside has ended. Brutus addresses Mark Antony in a high tone that the other characters on the stage can hear. Brutus says, Mark Antony, here take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us. But speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission, else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going, after my speech is ended. Antony. Be it so. I do desire no more. Brutus replies, prepare the body then and follow us. Interpretation. After the crisis of assassinating Caesar, Antony pretends a reconciliation with the conspirators, shakes the hand of each of them, and requests permission to make a speech at Caesar's funeral. That's all I seek. Speech in the order of his funeral. This Brutus grants him in spite of Cassius' objections in the aside. I'll repeat the last line. This Brutus grants him in spite of Cassius' objections. Cassius' objections. What form is this? Possessive. Not Cassius's objections. You add an apostrophe, not an apostrophe and s, because Cassius is a Roman name. Cassius' objections in the aside. Cassius objects and says to Brutus, you know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Cassius realizes the effect of Antony's speech on the citizens. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter? To heighten the crises, Shakespeare uses asides. Why does Cassius object to Antony's speech in the funeral? In contrast to the conspirators, even the sharpest of them, Cassius, Antony is strong and politically savvy. Gone are the images of him as womanizer and drunkard. He is taking charge at the moment of greatest danger, and he does so by manipulating Brutus' naivete. Speaking of Antony, Brutus says, I know that we shall have him well to friend. But he is wrong. Antony has a plan to persuade the populace to his side at the funeral oration and turn them against the conspirators. More on Antony. Antony is a master of the theatrical. What more dramatic effect could there be than Antony entering the forum bearing the body of the slain leader? No matter what Brutus says, and despite the fact that the crowd is emphatically on his side, from this moment all eyes are turned to Mark Antony and the corpse he bears. In his trusting naivete, Brutus leaves the stage to his opponent. Any questions? Please send me your inquiries to Google Classroom. Your homework number 1. Of course, you should read Act 3, Scene 1 again, then find out the colored vocabularies and write them down in English. Number 2. Write the character traits of Brutus, Cassius, and Antony according to this video and its quoted speeches. What can you find? Watch the video once, twice, thrice, until you can write down a character trait of each of these 3 characters. Lastly, number 3, next read Antony's oration in Act 3. Till next time, take care of yourselves.